What's up? What's up? What's up? Podcast world, Chad Building back at you. Another episode of This Life Ain't For Everybody. Brought to you again by our friends out of Lynchburg, Tennessee, the one and only Jack Daniels. Enjoy it responsibly. Never allow underage drinking. But take Jack with you. Make sure you're safe with it. But if it's a campfire after a deer hunt, duck hunt, turkey hunt, a concert, a festival, which I'm positive we're getting ready to get back into in 2021, take Jack Daniels with you. Thank you, Jack Daniels, for believing in everything we do here at all of our brands and our podcasts, including this one right here, This Life Ain't For Everybody. Today's guest, you heard him here before. You've heard him all over the radio, and knowing our audience, you've seen him live in concert, shaking the Wranglers. Cowboy hat. Yeah. I call him the new George Strait. Jon Pardi, what's shaking?
I'm just hanging out. That's what we do today, is hang out.
Is it affecting you, buddy? Have you? I mean, are you still staying positive? Because I've never seen you sad.
No, man, I'm busy as hell. I mean, we work around the farm and everything, and just it's been fun.
Are you working with your dad a bunch?
No, I mean, he came out here for the wedding, and then he stayed a couple of weeks, and we got a bunch of stuff done. But I've still got a bunch of stuff to do. So,
and is it true that you got married? I'm pretty sure that you did. I was invited to the wedding, and then I was disinvited to the wedding for good reasoning because of COVID. I understand, but you got married to Summer. She's beautiful and she's an awesome soul. How is married life so far?
It's great. Same. Nothing really changed except the ring. That's about it.
She likes that ring, huh?
Yeah, I was talking about me. She's had the ring for a while.
Let me see yours.
It's just a gold little. It's got cool little designs on it, like the Western style. It's pretty cool. So
is there any highlights? Give me some. Are there any highlights of the fall so far? Have you been down to see Drew and the boys? Have you killed a deer yet? Have you eaten wild game? Are you cooking wild game? What's going on with the outdoorsy part of Jon Pardi?
Well, I went in September. I got a nice elk. We're out in Colorado, and so we've been eating a lot of elk. It's my favorite wild game animal to eat, and so we got a bunch of it. And we've been eating that. And I've been talking to Drew. Drew hasn't called me back yet, but we're talking maybe this week to head down there. We'll see.
Have you been paying attention to some of the deer being killed down there so far?
Tyler Jordan got a big old one. And Ryan Hurd got one. I saw his. And they said duck hunting's been bad, though, out there. It said not been a good duck season.
It's been weird all over Arkansas and Louisiana. Again, it's been weird. I mean, it's warm. I got a video the other day from Montana yesterday. In Montana, of thousands of mallards on a pond with open water. Like they said that this water should have been froze at least 2 months ago. Like it's a crazy winter. We haven't had much one at all.
Yeah. Nashville's been cold though. We got a lot of snow this year, but it goes away, comes and goes. It's not like Montana where it stays.
What happened there a couple weeks ago with that freaking bomb? I mean, can you believe this stuff?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. People just getting way too into conspiracy theories and stuff, and that guy's just a nut.
Crazy.
But nobody got hurt. So that was, I mean, nobody was killed and the only bad part is that, the businesses have to rebuild. I mean, and it destroyed Hooters, which is a super bummer. So
just like the number one go-to spot. So like what's your out?
Let's destroyed Hooters downtown. It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. So what's the outlook like right now? Is there any positive messaging going on? Does it look like you're going to be able to get on the road this year? Are there plans to, or is it still a waiting game?
It's a waiting game right now. I'm saying August. I know a lot of people are hoping for earlier, but more realistic, it's going to be August into the fall. Just because, they got the vaccines, but they're already struggling to, get them out there. I mean, and that everything's brand new. They never done this before, so that takes time. And
are you thinking that it'll be kind of still a social distance kind of show this year where it's not going to be your normal audiences?
That I don't know. I don't know. I've heard talk like if you have proof of vaccine or just proof of a negative COVID test, that they might do, big events like that.
All right, I got to talk to you a little bit about the music. Some of the surprises, what my summer was full of was the Rancho Fiesta sessions. That was, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was filmed and recorded right where you're sitting now. Is that your shop?
Yeah, it was all recorded out right there. Sounds good in here. It's got a lot of reverb, but it gives a nice kind of a sound. Is that we're actually pretty surprised.
So how do you pick these songs on here? I don't even want to get to the last one yet because that one blows my mind. I love it. I listen to it a ton, but why do you pick the George Strait songs that you did? Why do you pick Honky Tonk Man? The Bottle Let Me Down starts it all off. How are these your favorite songs, or are they just the ones you were feeling at that time with your band?
There's some of my favorite songs, and it had a lot to do with 2020. And just, like when we recorded Tom Petty, The Waiting's the hardest part. I love that message about it. We're all kind of sitting around waiting for the world to get back normal. And, I always joke with The Bottle Let Me Down. I always put in 2020 sure let me down. But back in the early part, it was just kind of joking. And I was listening, but I love Merle Haggard, and so it was just fun songs to record. And for the George Strait, I love Right or Wrong. Right or Wrong, that's a standard when it comes to Western swing, and not a lot of new artists even attempt to record a Western swing song. And that was fun for the band to learn. And we've been playing Marina Del Rey in 2019, and we love that song. We already knew it, so let's record that. And then Joe Diffie, we lost Joe last year, and I wanted to, sing one of his songs, my favorite, Prop Me Up Beside Jukebox. And yeah, we got a Keith Whitley tune, I Love Somebody Do Me Right. It's a fun project.
So before we get
really good too.
Oh my gosh, is it done so well? And I love the production of it, meaning that whoever picked the flow of the songs did a great job. If you want to listen to a great 8-song album, just song to song. What did Joe Diffie mean to you? You're in your early 30s, late 20s. You were coming up as that guy in high school when Joe Diffie was on top of the world in the late 90s, early 2000s. Prop Me Up Against the Jukebox, Third Rock from the Sun, John Deere Green. I mean, you name it. That's just touching the tip of the iceberg right there. The guy had tons of songs. What did he mean to you as an artist?
Joe was a great singer. He had some anthems. He always had the anthems. Still to this day, like Joe Diffie's got some anthems where it's John Deere Green, Pickup Man, Bigger Than Beatles. I hear that on the radio all the time still. But he was definitely was a big, he was just always on the radio growing up, and it's just to kind of get instilled into you in your music soul. And he was definitely influence of just being great country songs too, And he was a nice guy. I got to meet him a couple of years ago for a couple of times. Very nice man.
And you talked a little bit about Honky Tonk Man. I don't know where Dwight Yoakam's from. Is he from Kentucky?
He's from Kentucky, but he basically did what I did in Nashville. He moved to LA, which is unheard of, and became a country singer and like a country star, basically a legend out of us. His story is like something you'll never really hear again. I don't think so. I even talked to Dwight about that. I was like, man, your path was just like not normal. He goes, I know, it's crazy, right? But it's cool. I mean, I think Dwight's like the king of cool when it comes to music and just the way he presents himself as an artist. And it's been Honky Tonk Man. I mean, I've been singing that since I was like 7. So I was like, gotta do Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah, his library is amazing to me. But why is he so cool? Why did he not follow the rules? Was he kind of a Western outlaw to where he had that Bakersfield beat to him, kind of like Buck Owens did? He always pays tribute to Buck, but why do you call him the coolest of the cool? Is it because of the way he dressed and the way he shook his body when he sang and the way he held his guitar? He kind of had a little bit of Elvis influence on that, but was he just unapologetic and he didn't really play by the Nashville rules?
Definitely. He just wasn't in that system. And at the time, there wasn't anybody that raw and country, to come out with Honky Tonk Man and Guitars and Cadillacs, and even Fast as You and just kind of a little more rock and roll. And from anywhere from his coats, he kind of brought back the Manuel coats, the rhinestone, and just was always had a real cool kind of style about him, which I really like that. I kind of base some of my styles off of Dwight and, kind of reinterpret it into nowadays. But he was just different, and he's undeniable. It's Dwight Yoakam when he's singing.
So off just the other side of Dwight Yoakam is his acting. Off the top of your head, Jon, what's your favorite role he played, if you have one? I don't know how big of a movie buff you are, but he's been in a lot of movies. He's good friends with Vince Vaughn. He's been in several Vince Vaughn movies, but what's your favorite off the top of your head?
I think the Wedding Crashers, where he just opens for Wedding Crashers on such just to be part of a legendary movie, and just was the opening scene. It was great for Dwight. I thought that was one of his best cameo. If you don't know it's Dwight, a lot of people won't know it's Dwight, but it's Dwight. I was just that's when I first saw Wedding Crashers, I was like, holy shit, it's Dwight Yoakam. He's in Wedding Crashers. So
he's that's right, baby, go comatose for me.
Yeah, no, that was probably one of my favorite lows. I mean, of course, Sling Blade, he was great in that, but just for the funnier side of being in something cool like that, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's in a new I don't know what you call it, Showtime or HBO or something. Have you seen that new show that he's been in a little bit? I think Billy Bob Thornton's in that one as well. Have you seen? I
haven't.
Yeah, I can't even. The name's skipping me.
I haven't really watching too much TV.
So, staying on TV or movies for a second, and you mentioned Wedding Crashers. I tell everybody I think it's the funniest movie ever made. I know that there's the legendary classics like Fletch and Caddyshack and Christmas Vacation and Vacation, and all of those are hilarious. And then you have Superbad, and you have all the Adam Sandler movies. You have great ones of our time. I'm older than you, but we kind of watch the same movies. Do you think Wedding Crashers is one of the funniest, if not the funniest movie ever?
I don't know. Wedding Crashers is really funny and fun. There's so many one-liners off that, but I don't, that's a tough one. I don't know about the funniest movie ever. If you want to talk funny, you can go back and watch the Eddie Murphy movie, and that might be some of the funniest stuff ever been put on film.
I can't argue with you. There's so many good Eddie Murphy and his stand-up. He's the king of stand-up, in my opinion.
Yeah. I watched, they're doing it Coming to America too. I saw that. But Trading Places, some of the just legend, it's so funny.
Yeah, you just laugh your butt off. So back to Rancho Fiesta, number 8 is Sinead O'Connor. You're Jon Pardi.
Well, it's not Sinead.
Okay,
it's not Sinead O'Connor.
It's Prince wrote it.
Prince wrote it, and I just did Prince's version. If you go back and find Prince's version, it's very similar to mine.
Okay, so Prince is the influence. I imagine that Sinead wasn't an influence. She might have been, but Prince is a big influence of yours. His stage presence, his songwriting, his guitar playing, his musicianship. What intrigues you, Jon Pardi, about Prince?
Honestly, I just started listening to Prince, going down his catalog the past couple of years, and it was just like a case study, I was I want to see what Prince is all about, of course you hear his big hits and everything, but he was just really kind of really smart into music. He was trained vocally. My vocal coach said Prince was he went to school for vocal coaching, and so he knew all these octaves and he played all his instruments on his albums, and he was just a really, really cool kind of musical genius guy. And just kind of going back, so I had part of his catalog on iTunes. I was listening to all of them, and then I heard Nothing Compares to You, and I never heard the Sinead O'Connor version. I didn't even know that was her only hit. In fact, when I heard the Sinead O'Connor version, I didn't think it was that good. I was kind of scratching my head, this was a huge hit, really, Prince's is 10 times better. And so I just kept listening to Nothing Compares to You, and I was like, man, we should throw that on the Rancho Fiesta session. That's just because to me it was it had country lyrics. It was, I felt that's kind of like a country song. You could hear that Nothing Compares to You. All the flowers in the backyard died. It's just, there's so many lines that I thought, I was like, this is a great country song. So that's kind of why we recorded that.
Yeah, it's crazy because anybody that's your age or younger, or probably my age or younger, might not necessarily know that Prince had anything to do with that song, because Sinead O'Connor, her hit became worldwide success for her. That was her whole career.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, her version's still good, but it's just, for me personally, I was like, I didn't see what the big deal was about, but I guess I just love Prince's version. It's so more like, it's just cool. And I just wanted to be a part of that. So it's fun, and you want to step out and record an outside song like that. That's, people are kind of like, whoa, you sang that song, but it's awesome. We actually played a private show last year. It was like a Christmas miracle. And they were big fans, and we played Nothing Compares to You. And I'm telling you, there wasn't a lot of people there, but it brought down the house, man. I was like, I want to play live so bad, because I feel like that would be like the closing song, and the saxophone lead. And then, you could put purple lights up for Prince and stuff. And it was really cool to have a little bit of that fan reaction, to see like, they love Nothing Compares to You. I mean, right when we kicked in, they knew it. They knew the song was coming.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
What are you listening to right now, as far as what's on the radio right now? Of, I don't know, what do you call it, top 40 country? What are you liking right now with some of your friends? You're friends with a lot of the people that we hear on the radio. What are you digging right now? Let's start with females. Any females out there you're digging on right now, that what they're putting out?
Oh, Lainey Wilson, she's doing some cool stuff. Miranda, I thought Miranda made a great record, and that Tequila song she's got is pretty cool. We all got Tequila song. I don't know. Miranda's definitely always, I think, one of the best way to describe an artist that is her own thing. Of course, you got Kara Underwood. I think Maren Morris is making some cool music. She's done a good job at being really successful on radio, and for a long time, girls weren't, they always said they weren't getting played, but it's like Maren and Kelsey, they're all killing it now. So we kind of we got our girls back going on. But Haley Witters, she's put out some cool new music. Yeah, Ashley McBride, there's all kinds of cool chicks out there now.
Without putting you on the spot, but kind of putting you on the spot, is Miranda Lambert the best female artist since Dolly Parton? Or is it hard to say there's a best? But as far as songwriting, stage presence, and delivery, Dolly's the best, in my opinion, ever.
They're two different animals, man. Where, Miranda's she's more of like the outlaw kind of outspoken, don't mess with Miranda. And she just had a great attitude about her. And it's her singing, and she has it, she's from Texas, and she has that vibe. And I think that's what kind of really we all love about her. And it's hard to put anybody compared to Dolly, because Dolly had some massive songs. I mean, massive song. I Will Always Love You, especially when The Bodyguard came out. And even, her career is just getting bigger and bigger now, because everybody loves Dolly Parton, and Dolly's awesome, man. She's a cool chick.
You've met Dolly Parton?
Yeah, it's hard to compare.
You've met Dolly?
I have not met Dolly, but just people that I know her, and she's just funny. Well, because one of my friends' moms works for Dolly, and Summer and Leslie went to go see her at her, like, she was doing this fundraiser last year, and she made a joke. Dolly made a joke. She asked where I was, and she go, and like in her sass, she go, "Well, I'm just not good enough for him." I was like, "No, I would have gone. Trust me." Like, hey, whoa, like, I'm throwing jabs out there. But I've heard stories. She's so fun and funny, and if you watch any award show, like I was at the CMAs one time, and she got up and did an acceptance speech, and like you could hear a pin drop, and we were laughing, and like she's so charismatic and so good at talking. And she's a great storyteller, and that's one of like the old school thing that we as human beings right now, that's going to be a kind of a lost thing, telling stories, because we're always on the phone or we're always looking at Instagram. But back in the day, you just had to be good, and we all know good storytellers out there, still out there, but they're not as much as there used to be, I think. But yeah, she's awesome.
Okay, so switch over to guys now, your buddies that are out there. You had a great radio single with Nothing That a Beer Can't Fix with Thomas Rhett. What are you liking out there right now? Is there too many to list right now?
There's a lot. I mean, Eric Church's new single, pretty cool. I mean, of course, Morgan put out a huge album, and it's pretty badass. Like a lot of good songs on that. Let's see. There's a lot. I'd have to look. There's so much, but those are two of my favorite. Dirks' new song is really catchy. Got that Gone one. That it kind of grew on me, and I mean, it's hard. It's hard to, what's played on the radio, it stays on the radio so long. And then everybody on the streaming, like just shelling out music. So it's hard to, you got slow and you got fast. It's hard to kind of keep up with what's going on.
Are you a fan of what Combs is doing?
Yeah. I mean, Luke's great. I mean, I was just first his album came out last year, and, so I would, he's working on a new album. We got to write this last year on our off time. He don't live too far from me. Well, he lived like 45 minutes, but we're going to try to write again. And so I'm a big fan of Luke Combs, and everybody is coming out. And I feel like the songwriting is getting more real. Like the songwriting that the girls and the guys are coming out with now are more real and kind of involved in what's they're going on in their life more than ever. So it's pretty cool.
So if you were coming up in the late 90s, you were in middle school, you were probably in elementary school in the late 90s. When were you born, John? What year?
85.
Okay, so guy, you're 50. Let's say you're 13, 14 years old when the Hat Pack is breaking in with Mark Chesnutt, Tracy Lawrence, Garth Brooks. Who else am I missing in the Hat Pack? Was that the three of them, or was there another one? Chesnutt, Lawrence, Garth,
Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson for sure. Good call. If you're in that,
Mark Chesnutt. Let's see, Clint Black.
Yep. Now Travis Tritt's huge at that time, but he doesn't wear a hat.
Mm-hmm. Well, hats kind of like there ain't too many people wearing hats anymore.
Are there any besides you and Leith Lofton?
Well, you got Justin Moore.
Justin Moore wears one.
Justin Lynch. That's Tim McGraw. I like Keenan Chesney. There's some other. I mean, there's others. I see a lot of younger artists in Nashville kind of playing Whiskey Jam. You'll see a couple artists wearing hats. We're still holding on.
What do you think of the art? You said Mark Chesnutt. Are you a huge fan? I'm a huge fan. I want to hear his music more and more every time I listen to it. But were you a big fan of Chesnutt?
Oh yeah, I love Mark Chesnutt. We actually, for Rancho Fiesta's the session, we actually cut Bubba Shot the Jukebox. We put a Mark song on there. We wanted to get that, and actually I'm going to have Ryan remix that because I think it'd be fun to listen to. But it came out good. We had to put 8. We could only have 8 songs from the label for licensing deal. So it wasn't the strongest out of all the live performances. I mean, we recorded Troubadour. We recorded so many other, like 3 or 4 other songs that just didn't have the magic. And that's normal with studio stuff. But like if we really wanted to do it, we'd have to go the next day and do it all over again and try to get a better recording. But these were like some of the best tracks. So Bubba Shot the Jukebox kind of got that just, for another time. Yeah, I love Mark Chesnutt, man. his album he did with Pete Anderson is really good too. I don't know if I forget what it's called, but it's pretty awesome.
It's both of them on it?
Huh?
What is it? It's a double. Both of these guys are on it. Who did you say? Who Anderson?
Pete Anderson. He was Dwight's first guitar player that produced a lot of Dwight's big hits.
So he produced this album for Chesnutt?
Yeah. I'm going to pull it up right now.
It wasn't the one with Going Through the Big D on it, was it?
No. This one was, I mean, he still puts new records out. His Tradition Lives is really good, but it's just called Mark Chesnutt Outlaw. That's a pretty cool record. He covered like some Waylon Jennings and some he recorded Desperados, Waiting on a Train. Like there's some cool stuff on that album if you haven't heard it.
It's called Outlaw. I'm going to get it today.
Yeah, it's cool.
So what's up with you right now? Is there a new record on the horizon? There's rumors of a new single. What's going on right now with Pardi?
Yeah, we got the Tequila Little Time is my new single. It's going to be the last single off Heartache Medication, and I'm currently writing. I'm going to start writing and getting some retreats in and doing like a big writers camp and get writing. And then we're going to shoot for May to record the record. And then we'll see how fast we can get it out. Will
this be a studio album or a Rancho Fiesta album?
No, it's going to be a studio album.
Back in the studio.
But we did talk about doing another, after the next record, get together and do another Rancho Fiesta thing. Cause I think fans enjoy it, and especially if it's just like 8 songs and different things, like, when you record nothing compares to you, that you get to, and it's just got a fun sound to it. So we talked about doing like, another one of those down the road, but I definitely need a new album full of new music.
New Jon Pardi music, but I would definitely love just an entire series. I don't know if it's once every year you put out 7 or 8 songs, Rancho Fiesta 2, 3, 4, and 5, and just do your favorites. I just think it's a cool vibe. And then you throw in one of those ones like the Prince track, Nothing Compares to You, and it makes people go, what the hell is Pardi doing? I mean, you might put a little Guns N' Roses on there. You might put a little Queen on. Like you could do a little Queen, a little Freddie Mercury.
You do whatever you want. That's we definitely talked about that. Cause it's just fun and it gets a guy who can play with the band and record music, but you definitely need some new music.
Yeah. I can't wait for it. The last album. I mean, every one of your, especially the last 2 albums, you talk about hits and in a run. I mean, on the album before Heartache Medication, how many number ones were off of that? 3 for sure.
There's 3, but I mean, it's crazy, like everybody wants number 1, but if you get a top 5, like that's really good. I was bummed I didn't get 3 number 1s in 2020 because that would have been awesome, but I got 2 number 1s and a 2. And getting a number 2 in anything is hard to get, just like a number 1 is. And my point is, Night Shift went to number 4 on the charts, but it's my biggest stream. It's one of the biggest streaming songs in the stream places and streaming services. So it's crazy, it's awesome that you just get played on the radio. I mean, that's the goal. So, but yeah, no, it's been fun. But the next album, we got some really cool songs. We got in a pile, and I just want to get a little bit more. And I think the next record is going to be really big.
So I'm going to ask you, Jon, because when I was texting you, I told you I would. Do you have your guitar with you?
Yeah.
I want to hear. Yeah. I want to hear this. When does the new single release?
I think it releases tomorrow. I don't know. I thought it was the 19th. I don't know. I'll have to ask Melanie.
So can we tease this before it releases? Will that be a big deal, or do we have to wait?
No, it's already released. Really, it's on the internet. So it's not like it's on iTunes, so it's out there. It's just going to be played on the radio.
And how do you see this climbing in the climate of country music? How does this song climb the charts? What are people going to think of it?
I don't know. I hope people have fun when they hear it. I hope it makes them happy. I hope it makes you want to make a margarita or have a tequila drink or just have a beer and just dance and feel good. And we were choosing songs for the last single off the Heartache Medication record, I was like, man, Tequila Little Time is just fun. It makes you happy. You remember it. And I love the mariachi horns in it. And it's just a fun song, and it's fun to play live. And I'm just I hope it's a big old hit. You never really know, but it's catchy and fun. And I think for the most part, if you got a song that's going to be played on the radio and it makes people happy, you can't go wrong with it.
Who are the writers on it?
I wrote that with Rhett Akins and Luke Laird.
The wordplay is to kill a little time is, you hear that daily. We got to kill a little time before our doctor's appointment. You got to kill a little time while your car's being washed. Tequila Little Time. A lot of people choose spirits to pass the time or to have a good time. Is this something that just pops into your head or Thomas's head one day, like to make this wordplay?
It was Rhett, Thomas's dad.
Oh, it's Thomas's dad.
Yeah. So this is a funny story how I wrote this song. We were on a retreat. It's like a writer's retreat. We're in Northern California, and it was the last day. We've written like 4 songs already, and we're kind of sitting around. I mean, it was like 1 o'clock. If you don't got nothing started by 1, that's a tough. Like you're pulling on your songwriting gears, cranking them, trying to get something good. And it was dead silent, and Rhett was on the couch laying down with his dip spit, like spitting into a water bottle. And he just goes, "Tequila Little Time." Just out of that. And I popped up and we wrote it in an hour. Just like out of that. We're like, this is great. This is a great idea. And it just popped out of Rhett's mouth. I'll never forget it. And we're like, I like that. Tequila Little Time. And 2 hours later, we were working on the little work tape. It was pretty fun.
That is so cool. That is such a freaking talent.
Or you could have a dreadful day of not getting anything, and you're trying to come up with ideas, and just boom, it just falls out of the sky. So that was why I always thought Tequila Little Time was special, because it was just out of nowhere. We thought we weren't going to get a song, and then we ended up with Tequila Little Time.
I love it. I love the wordplay. Have you written with DLM, David Lee Murphy?
Back in the day.
Could you?
He's been writing a lot with Bart and some stuff. And I'm not saying we might not get a date in, but he's been writing songs. He'll send me songs that for me to listen to. So he's on. I think he's on the radar. He's trying to get on the record, which is awesome. Can
you imagine leaving? Well, I'm sure you can imagine it, but leaving Dixon, California. There's a fair there. Moving to Nashville, Tennessee, and like Dust on the Bottle is arguably one of the biggest hits of the 90s, if not the biggest, because it's just like you hear that riff today and you're still like, oh my God, Dust on the Bottle. And the whole the whole idea of that song, you're writing with him, you're writing with Rhett Akins, you're writing with guys that are legendary, and there's more than that you've written with. Did you ever imagine it, Jon? I know your goal was to become a country western songwriter, singer, but did you ever imagine your career would do this?
There's parts of my career that I learned that this is a part of it. Like when you go to I didn't know, co-writing I learned about co-writing when I was about 18. I thought everybody wrote by himself, because back, in the college days, I was writing a lot by myself. So I really learned about co-writing in Nashville. And so, but I think I knew I was going to do something. I think I had the attitude, like, I'll make it, I'll do something, but you just never know what that something's going to be.
I remember when you came into my booth at NWTF and sat down, and I still have the video somewhere. I filmed you, but you were doing Always Picking Up What I Can't Put Down. And gosh, it's still one of my favorite songs. I love Write You a Song too. I could jam Write You a Song every minute of the day.
Jam that whole record. I love that first record.
That record's insane. Because you got my hometown in Write You a Song, right? Reno's in that song.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I remember you sitting there and you didn't even have I don't even think you had a single yet. Even that song wasn't even a single yet at the time when you did. That must have been 2011, 2012. You were in my booth singing that song.
That sounds about right.
God, man, it's crazy what your career has done, especially like when I see in Reno and St. Louis and all the places I've seen you play, the crowd freaking loves it, man. So Tequila Little Time, written by Jon Pardi, Rhett Akins, and who?
Luke Laird. Rhett, just a little information on that. Rhett and Luke are BMI Songwriters of the Year, like multiple years.
So this is off of Heartache Medication.
Yeah.
Hold on, I want to make sure that we get this right for the promo because I just want a little part of, helping Jon Pardi promote a single that's it's going to go number one and probably, how long does it take, John? Is it going to be is it 6 months? How long does it take?
I don't know, man. Sometimes it could go anywhere from 40 to 60 weeks.
So
but
this
it's definitely going to be prime time summer single when you hear it on the radio. It's going to start getting a little warmer.
I can't wait to be in the pool jam. I love this song. This is Tequila Little Time, written by Jon Pardi, Rhett Akins, and what's Luke's last name?
Luke Laird.
Luke Laird's off the Heartache Medication album. It releases this week.
Here we go. Pardon me, I don't mean to cry. Saw the tears falling from your eyes and I thought you're too pretty not to wear a smile. Hope you don't mind if I sit down for a while, 'cause I want tequila little time with you. A little salt and a lime will do. Yeah, barman, will you bring us to? I want tequila little time with you. Talking it all out, see what you're all about. I hope you want a tequila little time with me too. Ooh, ooh. We don't have to sit and talk about the past. Here's a moving forward and not looking back. A little later we can take it to the dance floor, but until then let's order a couple more, 'cause I want tequila little time with you. A little sun and a lime will do. Yeah, barman, will you bring us to? I want tequila little time with you. Talking it all out, see what you're all about. I hope you want a tequila little time with me too. It's good to see you laughing. I guess this had to happen. Now let's just get to dancing, 'cause I want tequila little time with you. A little salt and a lime will do. Yeah, barman, will you bring us to? I want tequila little time with you. Talking it all out, see what you're all about. I hope you want a tequila little time with me too. Hope you want a tequila little time with me too. Hope you want a tequila little time with me too.
Oh, it's going to be a smash, my man. That is going to be a smash.
I hope so. I was thinking, I forgot to talk about Dylan Carmichael. I was thinking about new artists coming out, and he's a new artist, and I produced his new single, Hot Beer. So check that out too if you haven't heard of Dylan Carmichael.
I like his stuff a lot. He is a Kentucky boy too.
Yeah. He's a great dude, and we had a lot of fun in studio. I think we're hoping we're gonna record a little bit more. We had it's pretty good stuff. But we got some good songs. He got this song called Big Truck. I can't wait till it comes out, man. It's so good. And it was just fun to work on his project for him. So another guy kind of coming up that's got some good music.
I think it's awesome that you do that you had help when you got there, and you're still young as heck in the industry. All these number one hits and all these tours, all this accreditation, and you're just starting, and you're already helping up and comers, man. That's what your daddy taught you to do. That's what your mom taught you to do. That's really what it's all about, whether it's hunting or fishing or what you're doing, helping the next generation out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we had fun doing it too. Awesome.
Okay, last thing I'm going to ask you is keep an open mind to this. Two things. You and Summer at one of my pool parties this summer when you're out west on a western swing, coming in here and hanging out at the pool one day and just saying hello to my casa. And number two, next month in February, pretty close to your hometown, a little bit north, a late season snow goose and speckle belly goose hunt where we're going to stack them up. I'm going to text you the dates, see if you can make it worth. Come out, visit some family, and bring your dad, and let's have a hunt before the season's out, before turkey season gets here.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun. We're trying to get out there late February or March, so we'll see.
Oh, well, that might work perfect because turkey opens March 27th, but the goose season goes until February 28th, I think.
Yeah, we're just hoping, we want to give a little time. California's kind of, on lockdown still, so we want to give a little bit of time to hopefully, get over the hill.
That's Jon Pardi, absolute badass in country music, a great dude, humble as they come. Thank you very much again for what you did for Tony. Did you get some wine?
Oh, yeah, man. They're great. They were so fun. That was awesome.
I can't wait for that deal to be put together, too. We'll talk more about that later. Jon's new single, Tequila Little Time, absolutely going to be a smash. I love it. Jon, thank you again for being here, my man.
Thanks, man.
That's Jon Pardi. This episode again has been brought to you by Jack Daniels. Enjoy it responsibly. Never allow underage drinking. And listen to Jon Pardi. Stream his stuff. Get his new single in your ears. It's going to be a summertime smash, a feel-good song to get us through this 2020 hump that we're still riding out right now. Let's get through it together. Thank you all for listening to This Life Ain't For Everybody podcast. We'll be back at you with another exciting episode soon. Tom, hit that button. This is going to be, I don't know, can I play that song on the way out, the studio version, or is that a no-no with publishing? We're going to play that. No. This is the studio version of Tequila Little Time by Jon Pardi off of the Heartache Medication album. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank y'all very much for listening.